Now here's a game that reeks of nostalgia. Or maybe that's just me, but we'll take the initiative to smell the new games on the market. If you liked a game called Syndicate Wars, you'll probably like this game too, Satellite Reign. It's made by 5 Live Studios, but they're the same people who made the Syndicate series at Bullfrog Productions. It's considered a spiritual sequel and had to be crowdfunded, but here it is. I never played any of the Syndicate games, so will I be impressed? Let's find out. You control a squad of 4 agents with unique abilities as you overthrow an evil corporation in a dystopian cyberpunk city. At least that's how I understand it. The skills for each class is what determines your overall playstyle. If you want the stealthy approach to the game, you choose skills that allow you to take advantage of multiple ways of entry, like hacking and hardwiring. If you want the brute force approach, you upgrade your health and damage, so you can choose how you approach the game. Your hacker has the ability to hijack other people's bodies, and you clone them and transport your agents' minds into those bodies, which gives you stat bonuses. I find the missions to be a bit bland. Many of them amount to making your way through this door or this person inside a restricted area, and then making your way out. But it's also ridiculous when you throw in the really stupid AI in the game. Watch as I move to the objective, leave while taking fire, and then after a few seconds, they forget I was there to begin with. I'm free to walk around in the open. The combat also seems a bit clunky. My characters do not return fire automatically, and I don't see an option to enable this. If they're shot at, they stand there like idiots. When you do control them, you can use the terrain for cover and maneuver around the area to gain a tactical advantage. If it gets too hot in there, you're given a chance to revive a fallen character before they die. The only consequence of death is the lowered stats of a body you hijacked. They'll eventually lose all of their bonuses, but you can replace the bodies at will. There is an Iron Man mode, but considering the nature and story of the game, the penalty for death isn't as bad as you think. When someone dies in this mode, they lose their skills and experience and grind back up from scratch. Basically, the punishment is a few minutes wasted leveling up a character again. I don't think there is a way to lose, so the Iron Man mode increases the annoyance of the game rather than the challenge. Another thing I have a problem with is you cannot fully rotate the camera. Maybe it's just to make the game similar to its predecessors, but they made it so everything you can interact with is facing south. That's the kind of design decision you incorporate into a 2D world, but this is 3D. They're not using the full potential that a 3D game can offer. I just don't know about this game. It's advertised as a real-time, class-based strategy game set in an open world, but the open world they have feels empty. You're going from one objective to another, and there's not much to do between them. Suffice to say, I got bored very quickly. It does have a few elements that work great, and I can see why people would enjoy this, but it seems to appeal to a niche that I'm just not a part of. And it just has a lot of things that turn me off. So, Mr. Syndicate Wars spiritual sequel, how will you do in the video game market? The first few weeks is the usual reviews, let's plays, and obligatory patches. Not much to say here, pretty standard stuff. I tried looking on their forums to see if I could find some juicy drama to talk about, but nothing came up. It's an average release of an average game, but the developers are listening to feedback and fixing bugs when they're found. So I guess you can say it's a pretty positive release. A few months from now, the game will be dead. It doesn't seem to have any modding capabilities, and even if it did, I just don't see people doing much with it. The game itself is fairly limited in its design. It's possible to see some DLC being released in the future, but you would just see more of the same stuff. I think Satellite Reign is an okay game, good enough to put on a list of games to play if you want, but not good enough to push up its priority on the list. It's the kind of game you would play once, maybe twice, and with its $30 price tag, it's also the kind of game you would buy on sale. In a few months, we'll take a look at this game again to see what happens to it. Thanks for watching!